All right, today we are diving into something that is absolutely critical for personal development. It's a hidden force, a secret ingredient that, honestly, most of us are actively trying to avoid without even realizing it. And it might just be the very thing that's holding you back. So let's start with a feeling I'm pretty sure we've all had at some point. Let's talk about the growth plateau. You know that feeling of being completely, totally stuck? I mean, really think about it for a second. You're putting in all this effort, you're trying to get ahead in your career, learn a new skill, improve your life, but the needle just isn't moving. It feels like you're on a treadmill that you just can't speed up or get off of. Does this little checklist look kind of familiar? You're doing everything you're supposed to do, right? You're reading the books, setting those big goals, building the habits. You listen to the podcasts, you journal, you meditate. You are the perfect student of self-improvement. And yet, bam, you hit a wall. It is so frustrating, and it makes you think, what am I missing here? What is the secret I don't know? So that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? Why? Why do we get stuck, even when we're trying so hard not to be? Okay, this is gonna sound like a riddle, but it's really the heart of the whole problem. We spend so much of our time and energy trying to prevent mistakes, trying to avoid any kind of discomfort, trying to sidestep failure. And in doing that, we accidentally cut off the very oxygen that our own growth needs to survive. Look at this comparison. On the left, that's the common approach, right? We seek comfort, we aim for perfection, we follow the safe, proven path. And that makes sense. Our brains are literally wired to avoid risk. But look at the right side. That's the missing ingredient. Embracing discomfort, learning from the missteps, exploring the unknown, and, this is huge, leveraging failure as data. This isn't just a small change. It's like installing a completely new operating system for your own personal growth. And this is what reveals the big idea we're talking about today. The powerful concept that can absolutely shatter that plateau you're on. This is the unseen catalyst for real, genuine evolution. It's called constructive failure. And no, it's not just about failing. It's about a specific, targeted, and incredibly powerful strategy for getting better. So what does that actually mean? Well, the most important word here is intentional. This is not about being reckless or just messing up for the sake of it. It's about strategically and purposefully pushing yourself right to the very edge of what you can do, and maybe just a little bit past it. It's about creating challenges where falling short is actually part of the plan, because that's where the gold is. That's where the real lessons are found. And, this isn't some radical new idea. Henry Ford was onto something when he said, "The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing." Constructive failure is basically a framework to make sure every single mistake becomes a powerful lesson. It completely transforms failure from being some kind of dead end into just being another data point. So why is this so incredibly effective? Well, first, when you fail on purpose, you build real resilience, not just the idea of it. And neurologically, you're literally forcing your brain to create new connections. That's neuroplasticity in action. You also get priceless data on what not to do the next time. And maybe the best part of all, it separates your ego from the result. When the goal isn't success, but learning, suddenly failure loses all of its sting. Okay, the theory is one thing. It sounds great, right? But how do we actually do this? How do we use this in our day-to-day lives? Let's break down an actual plan. Here it is, a simple 4-step process. Step 1, set a stretch goal, something that you know is going to be tough. Step 2, and this one is the real game changer, you define what a good failure would look like ahead of time. So, for instance, if you're learning to code, a good failure isn't just my code broke. It's I learned exactly which line of syntax was causing the problem. See the difference? Step 3, just go for it. And when you fall short, which you will, you analyze what happened with zero judgment. And finally, step 4, you immediately apply what you just learned and you go again. It becomes this rapid loop of try, fail, learn, repeat. So the biggest takeaway here is this. Real, lasting growth isn't found in trying to be perfect. It's forged in the fire of our intelligent and intentional failures. Which really just leaves us with one final thought. What is one small, safe-to-fail challenge you can take on this week? The answer to that question could be the very key to unlocking your next level.